Hey stranger, real quick before we get into this. Soda with Strangers is running its very first giveaway in collaboration with Pippi Post, and we are pumped about it. We've got over $100 in prizes, a $50 gift card to Pippi Post, a Diet Coke tumbler, some Thread Wallet Diet Coke themed wristlets and chapstick holders, one for you and one for your stranger buddy, and 2 pairs of Diet Coke socks. Clearly, I'm obsessed with something here. Do we see a theme? To enter, head to our Instagram. That is Soda with Strangers, and look for the pinned giveaway post. Entries close September 7th at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Don't sit on this one. Okay, let's get into the episode. Okay, this is Soda with Strangers, a podcast where we sit with a stranger, share a soda, and get curious about the life behind the label. Because the more we listen, the harder it is to see each other as strangers. Okay. So this is Christine.
Hello.
You're the best. I'm so excited for everyone to hang out with you. Okay, tell us a little bit about you, your background.
Background. Was born in Dallas, Texas.
Cool.
Right. Moved everywhere with family. Ended up in Washington State. 12 years old. Went to Michigan. That's where I ended up meeting my husband, but not. We did not date. Like that's where we met.
Deal.
It was in Michigan.
Just friends.
As teenagers, we grew up in the same ward, same stake, I should say.
Okay.
I had the same friend group, whatever. My parents divorced when I was in 11th grade, and we moved with my mother back to Washington State,
Okay.
where she is from.
Okay.
Her mom, she grew up there. From there, went to college, went to Rick's College, which is now absurdly named BYU, Idaho, and had planned to go on a mission, went from Rick's down to Provo to work, and crossed paths with Gary again.
I love that.
So
That's so cool.
I'll tell this brief story. We had tickets to a Janet Jackson concert.
Yes.
Or I had tickets to a Janet Jackson concert. And I was going to take my sister for her birthday. And in the time of the divorce, the move, all of that, he'd gone on a mission. His parents moved from Michigan to Salt Lake down to St. George or Cedar City.
Okay.
So that was his whole track. And then he comes home and he comes back to Rick's College and visiting roommates he'd had before he left. Finds out that I'm there. How he did that, I have no idea.
Crazy. Yeah, that's amazing.
We should have not crossed paths again. Anyway, that was very brief. And then he went down to Cedar City. I was in Provo.
Close enough.
Somehow got a conversation going with him on the phone. Told him I was going to Janet Jackson with my sister as a surprise. And he said, so she doesn't know? And I said, no. And he said, well, then just take me instead.
Oh my gosh.
So I thought, well, she doesn't know. So, okay.
Does she know now?
She does. No,
She's forgiven him?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So we go to the Janet Jackson concert. Janet Jackson gets sick.
Yes.
Had to cancel the concert.
Oh, no.
That was February 26th. March 26th, I had come down to St. George. Gary wanted to take me flying.
Cool.
He proposed. We got engaged.
Oh.
April 26th was Janet Jackson's re-concert. Okay. So that was a little more fun going at the second time. A little different experience than the first one.
Yes.
And then nothing happened May 26th, and we were married June 25th because the 26th was a Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Super fast, but we figured we had the history, right?
Yeah, you have known each other a long time. So. That's cool. I love that.
Yeah. So that, let's see, then Gary got his master's in accounting.
Cool.
At Southern Utah University. From there, we moved back to Washington State to be by my family. We lived there for 6 years until 9/11 happened. At that time, he decided he wanted to be in the FBI. So
crazy.
180.
Yes.
Job change. So I said, okay.
Sure.
I married an accountant and now you want to be an FBI. Okay.
Very different.
Yeah. Didn't know that it would actually go through, but he does all the things, does his training and passes all the tests and whatnot.
Cool.
And then I thought, okay, well, he's an accountant, so he'll do white collar crime. Nope. They do not care what you've done before. They like accountants, they like lawyers, they
Yes.
like law enforcement,
Yeah.
but they train them all the same.
Fair.
And gets assigned to St. Louis, Missouri, which at the time was the crime capital of the
Oh,
United States.
Goodness.
Exciting. And, you know, there were nights where he comes downstairs dressed in black and I'm going to go plant some bugs on people's cars.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, honey. Have a good time.
Like, how do you like,
Yeah, like
go from accountant's wife to like
Yeah.
FBI agent who's
Yeah, he was all excited about the squad he was on,
Oh my
drugs, gangs,
gosh.
violent crimes. I was like, wait, what does that have to do with money? I mean, I guess it has something to do with money, but
It's true.
it's okay. Anyway,
Oh my goodness.
so that was where he started with the FBI
Okay.
in St. Louis. We were there for 3 years, moved back to Washington State. We're there for another 10 years.
Okay.
And all this time, we'd had 4 children, and we ended up here in 2014 in St. George.
Okay.
And because he got a job transferred to the office here, and it's been kind of crazy. He retired in 2024
Great. Okay.
after 22 years of
Good
being
for
with the
him.
FBI and started a new business,
Good for him.
forensic accounting. So
Back to accounting.
back to
Full
accounting.
circle.
Yes,
Wow.
full circle. But now it's forensic, so it gets the added PI
Okay.
work. And,
Okay.
and that
Using
kind of
both
stuff.
sides of
Yeah.
his
So
life.
that's all about what he's done. I've drove into theater
Yes.
after my kids went to Tuacahn High School.
Yeah.
And I thought, that might be kind of fun to try. And so
And
I
you're
did.
great.
And now I'm doing, after doing ballroom and choreography for 20 years, I now am stepping into choreography for theater and acting and doing all that kind
Yes.
of
And
crazy
so
stuff
busy.
and lots of fun shows.
I
but-
love it. What's been like when you think of a favorite role? What's something that stands out to you the most? I know that's hard to choose because they're for different reasons, but
Not really, because I just
Okay.
got to be Beverly.
yes, and Come From Away. Was that like dreams
That
come
was
true?
a dream come true because
such a good
10 years
role.
ago I saw Jen Colella do it on Broadway, and I
Yes.
thought I someday would love to
Oh, I love that.
be that. And just the story and everything.
Yes.
It was everything that I had
love
hoped it
that.
would be. So
And I feel like a cast makes that show. And it
Mhm.
seems like you guys had a really great
yeah.
group of people.
And
so.
just the story itself brings the cast together, and just and it's just it's all true. So it's just easy to
Yeah.
tell this story of humanity its best. And
I love that. So that was like a topper dream role for you.
Yes, there's been other fun roles. I
Yes.
mean, 9 to 5 definitely makes the top 5.
Yeah. This is where we
because
met.
That was so fun. Yes.
That was fun. That will always
I would
stay.
do that show again in a
Me
heartbeat. It
too.
was so
Me too.
fun.
But I would only do it with you and Morgan.
Yes, exactly. It would have to be the same 3.
Yes. Oh, it was fun. I love that.
Yes, I'll never forget the popcorn.
I tried to
So much
forget.
fun.
Oh my god. Was that closing night? So we just were kind of a mess.
Yes, and we were a mess. And
I love it.
I still have the little cigarette. It is in my memory.
Our Mary Joanna.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
And our shirts.
So
Oh
fun.
my goodness.
I know.
So yes, theater has been a good escape for me.
yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I understand that for me too. Like, you know what I mean? It
Mhm.
fills so many needs and creativity outlets and
yep. And what? I get to be someone else. Okay.
yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Just for a second.
People are always so confused because when you're like, oh, you seem really outgoing and then you're not, right?
Mm.
It's like, well, on stage, I know exactly what to say. I know exactly what to do. I know where to walk,
Yes.
who to be. That's different than normal life.
Yes.
Of course, that's terrifying. I don't know where to go.
Right. Exactly.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a goal or something you have moving forward in life?
I mean, there's all these little steps, little goals of improving yourself
It doesn't have to be
vocally,
anything crazy.
improving
Yeah.
anything, just, small stuff, just enjoy, not enjoy life. That's a broad term, but more allow life to happen on its
Mm,
own.
That's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know when you've solved that.
Yeah,
I want to use your cheat sheet.
just working on it.
I think it's a great goal though, right? Like there's a bunch of little things that can get you to like enjoying things more or
Mhm.
working towards things, but
And just not letting the speed of life, like trying to keep up with it. I just feel like if we try to keep up with the Joneses, right? Keep up with,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it just feels like everyone is like moving so fast.
Yeah.
And just being allowed to kind of take yourself out of that. And,
Do it at your speed.
mhm.
What are you drinking?
And sometimes you're forced
us.
into it.
Yes.
I am drinking Life's a Peach.
Love it.
It is
What
the
is
Dr.
this?
Pepper base. And
Okay.
it has peach and I do believe vanilla.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Is Dr. Pepper like one of your go-tos? I know you mentioned there was another one you liked that was very
I do love
caffeinated.
Dr. Pepper, but honestly, as I've gotten older, it just makes me pee. So
Shoot, hope you're not up
it
all
will
night.
be fine. That is a very big drink. So we might take a break.
Stick in the fridge. Finish it
That's
tomorrow.
fine. So I can't drink it on road trips
Deal.
because it
Deal.
will just make me, I'll have to go to
Yeah.
the bathroom. But Celsius has become my go-to.
Okay.
If it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? That's
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, it's 2 o'clock. If it's 2 o'clock, it's Celsius time.
If it's early enough, it's okay.
Yeah, if I drink it too late, then I'm up way too long. But 2
I
o'clock
love
seems
that.
to be the right.
Yeah. Especially doing shows, right? Like you
Mhm.
gotta have that pick me up later in the day to keep
Yes.
going.
Yes, to skip over that evening witching hour.
Yes. Deal.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah, I tried
What do
the
you got?
Bliss. So I think it's
Ooh.
cranberry in Diet Coke and lime. It's yummy.
I do like their Swig Reviver.
Yes, I've heard
But they've
great
changed
things.
their caffeine drink to their own.
Oh, okay.
Like it just happened, so I haven't
Oh.
tried that yet.
Yeah. I'm not a rancher outer. I usually
Not
go and I'm
usually.
like, just give me a Diet Coke. And they're like, really? You came here for a Diet Coke? I'm so
Like,
boring.
yep, that's all I want.
I know. Okay, you ready to dive in?
Sure.
Deal.
Sure.
Okay, so what is something you wish people understood about you?
About me or just understood?
I guess understood.
Something that I have learned by force lately.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just dive into it. So, as you know, 2 years ago, 2 of my children passed.
Take your time.
And you know Emily.
I do.
And I feel like I hate crying because then I sound funny.
You are great.
I want to say I've been put in a unique position, but I kind of have. Like most people don't or shouldn't lose their children.
Mm-mm.
It's not natural. It's not the same as losing anybody else.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is in succession, right? You lose your
Right.
parents, your grandparents.
Right.
But to lose a child, and in, I guess, my situation, I lost a child suddenly, and then one to a progressive disease.
Yeah.
So, I think losing a child, and I've tried to process the grief and the and just the event of losing a child to me and in my circumstances, life, they're just, and I've tried to go with all sorts of scenarios of what could be worse.
Mm.
And there just isn't.
Yeah.
I would rather have something happen to me. I would rather, lose a
Yeah.
limb. I would rather just to still have them here. Of course, having the duality where you've got a child that was suddenly taken away, you grieve the life that they could have had.
Mm-hmm.
And all that it comes with it. And then to have a child that has a progressive disease, you have been grieving their whole life,
Yeah.
knowing that they will not have the same life as other children, and knowing that because it is a progressive disease, one that does not have a cure, that they will lose their life.
Yeah.
Um, so that's two completely different spectrums.
Very different.
And then to have it happen in the same year. So Emily, the accident was in February, and then Joshua passed in September. But what I have learned, not by choice,
Yeah.
is that grief is not what we as a culture understand it to be.
Mm.
A lot of people think that grief is something that you get through, that you get over, that
It ends eventually.
it ends. And when you lose a child, you like that doesn't even it's not comprehended at all.
No,
Like
no.
there's no. And I read once that the brain does not understand loss.
Yeah.
As far as losing a physical person, like it's just as if they're in the other room. And
Yeah.
and for the longest time, it's the phone will ring and you think, oh, there's that just that split second of it could be then, but then knowing it's not.
Right.
But the thing with grief, and just I kind of took a step back and would read things, and people gave me books and they give you journals and they give you all these
Trying to
things,
help something they don't
right, that
quite
they
know
just
how.
don't understand.
Yes.
And even like therapists, like social media, like I would not look at anyone unless they lost a child.
Yeah.
And I found that there's one therapist I follow. It's called And That's Grief. She lost her husband.
Okay.
And some of the things that she talks about really resonated the same way.
Okay, yeah.
And I think part of that just comes from growing and being in love with this person who you lose,
Yeah.
and having that physical connections and all of that with them. But
Yeah.
but with a child, like you have those, especially as a mother, you have extremely strong physical connection to your children.
Yeah.
And when they're not there, it's just missing. Like there's no way to really, I don't think, process that unless you give yourself the space to just let it happen. Doesn't sound right. But I learned early, and I'm glad that I did, to not fight it, to not try to get back to anything normal, to not try to just be happy for the sake of being happy. I was very quiet for the first few months after Emily.
Yeah.
Partly because I had brain damage, but that's a
whole other thing to
whole
heal.
other thing.
Yeah.
And physical damage and things like that. But I kind of forced everything to go quiet, to allow and realize and understand that grief, no matter what you believe, have read, are promised, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It takes a side seat.
Yeah.
And the sooner I think we can understand that, the sooner we stop expecting it to go away. And it just kind of becomes a companion, and then the realization that it really is just a representation of the love that you still have for that person. Because you're never going to want it to end. You're never going to want to forget them. And so as soon as we stop trying to, things just seem to settle much faster.
Yeah.
And there's times where I'm like, you definitely have the guilt when you are happy in something. And you're like, wait, should I be this happy? But over time, because that's still there, you learn to compartmentalize as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's okay to just put that grief on a shelf. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
And like with acting, right? You can put that on a shelf. You can go and be
Yeah.
this and do this and work through this, and then it's still there, but it's something you want to be there.
Yeah.
Like I would, because I will never have them back in this life. I have that.
Yeah.
And I have the nerve damage on my right side that I'm okay if it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so I think what's difficult is you have people that don't understand the grief. And I heard, it was pretty early on, just that the further away you are from the epicenter of the event,
Mm-hmm.
the less you're willing to let grief happen, the less tolerance you have for grief.
Okay.
So the further you are
Yeah.
from the epicenter of the event, the less tolerance you have for grief. And so people that didn't know my children, that they think, oh well, you're fine now, and it's been 2 years, and everything
Yeah. You should be fine
should be
now. You shouldn't be.
fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they don't understand that and whenever I still hate the question, how are you? I really wish we could just get rid of that
That's
from the
fair.
whole English language.
That's fair.
Because especially after someone loses someone or a child, that just then that puts all that pressure on them of having to answer. I'm like, do you really want to know how because the whole process, can I trust this person with how I really feel, or do I just say I'm fine and that's just feelings I'm not
Yeah.
expressing? But instead of putting that question on them, it's just more, it's so good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here, and let it just be. And that has been helpful to help other people understand. Not that they always do, because then they ask, how are you again?
Yeah. It's so ingrained in our
It
culture,
really
unfortunately.
is. It really is. And it's not a question that we want an answer to.
Yeah. It's
Because
uncomfortable if people told you
we
the
just
truth.
expect someone to say,
Good.
good.
Fine.
And then you're like, good. Okay, there, I asked the question. How I checked in, right? But you didn't. And it's because when someone has asked me, how are you? And I either say I'm okay, or I'm fine. And then they immediately have this visceral reaction of, oh, well, you
What
now
do I
put the
do
pressure back
now?
on them,
Yeah.
right? And then our immediate natural sense is to want to try to take care of that.
Yes.
Right? Oh, wait, I caused that. Now I need to, but then it just is this. So if we could just get rid of that,
No, that's fair.
that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Because it really is unfair for you to have to be in a position to, one, divulge where you're at if you don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
and two, pretend like you're not where you're at.
Right.
Like even probably the most well-meaning people will ask that and probably want the answer or like want to know how you are, but like it may not feel safe, or you may not be in a place where you like can or want to share that.
Right.
And
for the most part, all you need is someone to just be there.
yeah.
Like, just, how about we just not say anything? And you can just let me.
Yeah.
And I think there's also, and I guess depending on what religion you are, there's in the Mormon religion, right? There's this thing, well, if you understand what's going to happen, then it just will make you happy, and it will bring you happiness. And it's, and a lot of people feel like they have to restate that for you. Like, oh, well, remember what's going to happen, or she's in a better place, or all of the things that they come up with, that it's, maybe it was her time. You're like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Or she chose this, or you chose. I was like, well, I'd like to have a conversation with that person from way back when, because I'm not sure that's. But even knowing or believing in the next life and what's to come, it doesn't change the hurt. And too often we hear people in higher positions
Mm.
having similar experiences, but acting as if everything's good and fine, but not letting the hurt show.
Yeah.
It's like we went from this traumatic event to losing our child to everything's fine and happy because we have eternal life. There's an in between
Mhm.
that has to be addressed.
Yeah.
That isn't.
Yeah. And I think it's addressed in the quiet, right? Like when people are
Absolutely.
alone or when no one's around or in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon and you leave
Right.
or you excuse yourself. Like we don't live in a society, we should, but we
Mhm.
don't live in a society where somebody's like, you know what, this is crappy and
Yeah.
I get to
Because
feel
what
this way.
happens when someone who hasn't lost a child hears this story and then loses a child and is now living in that in between,
Yeah.
and they think something's wrong with them,
Yes.
and they think I'm broken, and they think I shouldn't be feeling this, I should be over
Yeah. I
here.
saw so and so handle it so
And so when we
well.
don't talk about the dirt, and when we don't talk about the pain and the grief that comes from, I mean, we know that that Christ carries the yoke with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that yoke is still very heavy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he might not make it lighter. He's just having someone there with you to carry it is what
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that, I don't know why this popped in my head, but because of that, and then because of the atonement, I felt like when losing a child, and when we gain empathy then for those who lose children, I think that he was that representation of feeling everyone's grief and everyone's sorrows and everyone's everything. But he was also the example of that, so that when we have something like that happen, someone else has had that happen, and they get to be that for us, and we get to be that for
Yeah.
someone else. And so collectively, as a human species, you know, we each go through things that others aren't going to, but then when someone does, we're there for them, and we can empathetically
Yeah.
be there for that.
Like you make a good point, right? Because like even people who have lost children in one way or another that you've experienced both, but everyone's circumstances are unique. And so everybody has a different relationship with their child and a different way that they've lost their child and a different way they've grieved their child,
Mhm.
right? But like there's you guys are still able to connect on like the fundamental of some of the things.
Yeah, even at it wasn't Emily's Celebration of Life. We had a concert,
Yes.
a gala for her, and someone came up to me and just let me know that she also lost her child, and there's an immediate connection.
Yeah.
Immediate connection.
Yeah.
And when I hear about mothers who have lost their child, or a child has been in an accident, I reach out to them, and it's up to them if they would like
Right.
to respond.
Right.
But at least they know that someone
Yeah.
understands.
They've walked that path.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to not feel like they have to jump into being healed, or jump into joy, or jump into anything until they've just allowed it to happen, that it's okay to just grieve.
Yeah. And I've heard people describe it that it feels like you died along with them.
Mhm.
And like you're having to relive life and relearn it and figure it out. And you'll never be that
Absolutely.
version of you again.
Yeah, I look at pictures of me before
Yeah.
and after, and it's not the same person.
Yeah. That's fair. How could it be?
Right.
You know? What are the biggest shifts, the differences that you feel like you recognize in yourself? Like pre all of this and now?
Initially, just physically, I just do not look like I used to.
Fair. Fair.
Um,
You are beautiful both ways,
thank
but I
you.
understand.
But yeah, it's just I feel like my facial features are not so different that I'm unrecognizable
Oh,
either way,
absolutely.
but just different. And other than that, just the way I perceive things, think
Mm.
about things, make choices.
Oh, yeah.
I do a lot less, even though it seems like I do a lot. I don't feel like pressured into things so much anymore. I'm less about pleasing other people and just doing what feels right
Good.
and what's, best for me, for my family. And less about, oh, I have to do this project to please this person, or I have to look good to do this project well to look good in the eyes of this person. And
Yes.
I guess, the rat race, right? I'm able to just pull myself out of that. And,
Sure.
I used to, sometimes we put these expectations on ourselves to be the fittest, to, we have to get out and exercise. We have to, and those things can be important, but if I don't feel like getting up and exercise, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Um,
You're listening to your body.
I have 7 o'clock in my day, and it's at the end. My husband would say, you have 8 o'clock in your day. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right.
Hey, that's okay.
That's true. It's true. And I get up, and my youngest son, I help him get up and get ready, and as he has the same disease that my older son did. And then I'm ready for a nap and sit down with my dogs and I take a nap. And so I've just dropped all this just expectation on myself.
Yeah.
Of having to get things done, having to look good in other people's eyes. And I mean, I'm lucky if I clean my house. My husband is really good at cleaning our house.
Good. It's a shared
and
partnership.
He does the dishes, and I do help with the laundry, but
That's good. It's a project.
But if people are coming over, and
Yeah.
my husband is now, we've really traded places, right? He's like, well, we need to clean up the house and get it right. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? I don't notice it when I go to people's houses,
No.
and it's not like it's trashed or dirty. It's just there's
just
things.
life.
It's
You're
just
living
life.
there.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so, while he's mopping the floor, I'm like, why? They're just gonna walk in here and get it dirty again.
That's fair.
There's
It's
just
just
things that I just
perspective
have
shift.
let go of that he
Yes.
would probably prefer that I not let go of. But
I mean, I obviously have not seen every side of the grief, but I think what you've shared publicly has been really beautiful in being honest and being truthful about like this doesn't look pretty and it doesn't have to be, and you handle it with such like grace and kindness, and it's not like I know this and like this is how it should. It's like, hey, this is my experience and I don't want anyone to join this club, right? Like you wouldn't wish it on your worst
no, absolutely
enemy,
not.
but being welcoming to people who are unfortunately there, like I think you've created a really safe space for people to come to you.
Well, and that's what I hope to be, that middle ground where
Yeah.
they can see that, yes, I might believe that this is the end result, but I'm living in the middle right now.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and you have a new relationship with God, and where I just figure at this point, I don't ask for things.
Mm.
Um
Are you afraid to ask or
no, I have kind of gotten to a point where, not that it's pointless, but I figure we know that he knows the intents of our heart.
Yeah.
So he knows what we would ask for.
Yeah.
And when things happen, as far as a safe travel or a safe trip, we can be grateful. I can be very grateful.
Oh, absolutely.
I am able to do that. I'm able to be grateful for all of the things. And I think in doing that, I'm recognizing his hand in everything.
Yeah.
But to ask for something, especially when, you ask to be travel safe, but you have to be willing in everything you ask for to say, but if not.
Yeah.
And so I kind of feel like by not asking, I'm just leaving that door there. Like whatever is going to happen will be what is meant to happen.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I don't know that it was the will of him that the accident happened, that she passed, that because I would have some words. And there was actually a saying I was going to write down, and of course I didn't, and totally forgot, because a lot of people want to say that it was his will or that God was in the making of that, and it's less that and more that he's there for us in those moments.
Yeah.
Not that he's in the moment, but he's always there for us in those moments. And I don't know. I think that's something we'll find out later, I guess.
Right.
But
Right.
I mean, I think he knows that we want to travel safe, and I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he knows that, and then praying for rain, that's always been a thing for me. But only because I'm from Seattle, right? So
Where you get rain every
we
day.
first moved here and they're like, and pray for rain. I was like, wait, did they just pray for rain? Because that's weird.
Can import some from Seattle.
And then it's like, okay, well, it's gonna rain anyway, right? We know it's the rainy season now. It's coming, so just wait.
It's fair. No, I get that. I get that
Yeah.
perspective of just the shift, that it's not that like you don't want things still or don't
Right.
hope for things. It's just more of a,
He knows that I want those things.
yeah.
And I don't know. The scripture, right? The ask and it shall be given unto you. You're like, okay, but again, if we don't go into every single asking with but if not, then we're setting ourselves up for disappointment
Mm,
in the event that it doesn't happen. Because if we say, well, I prayed for it and then it happened, then what I prayed for and it didn't happen. So you have to be okay either way. You have to say,
yeah.
My faith is still strong enough if I don't get what I
Yeah.
prayed for. And I think too often, again, that's an expectation that's set up, that we teach, that says if you pray for it, you're going to get it. But then when you don't, and then, now the church is a charity for it. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I just wish we spent a little more time in the nitty gritty of not getting what we want and in the in between.
Yeah.
And allowing people to understand that that's normal, and that it's okay to be there, and there's no time frame that you have to be there.
Yeah.
And not fight it and not feel like I've got to rush and get on some drugs to feel better.
Yeah.
It's just, there have been days where I could do nothing but, I was lucky to get out of bed, or I'm lucky to get anything done. And instead of thinking, oh, I have failed,
Mm-hmm.
I think I've given myself that time and that space.
Yes. Yeah.
To just sit in it, and that's okay. And by doing that, I think psychologically and physically, our bodies can then accept the grief and the loss and not feel anxiety anytime
Yep.
something comes along that we're just like, wait, I don't know if that made sense.
Yeah. No, it's uncomfortable to let yourself sit in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to feel it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier to not. It's easier to shut it down. It's easier to pretend it's not there. It doesn't mean it's not. It doesn't mean it won't make itself known, because that's the one thing I know about grief is it will be heard at some point.
Yes, at some point, whether you let it or yes.
Yeah.
And everyone does grieve differently, and
Yeah.
and my husband just got to work, right? He stayed
Yeah.
busy, and then when grief, because it comes and goes in waves.
Yep.
And when it comes, it's okay just to let it come and let it be there and not fight it. And
Yeah.
again, I think that really helps us psychologically deal with it, accept it better.
Yeah. Let it be a guest in the room,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like an unwanted lurker, right?
'Cause
Like,
we'll
come on
always
in,
be
sit at the
there.
table.
Yeah.
You're
There's
a part
a
of this
seat.
too. Yeah. Unwanted, but it's there.
Yeah.
I think you've done a really good job of making space for it.
unwanted and wanted at the same time.
Right. Right.
Like I feel like at this point it's now there, but it's all in remembering
Yeah.
and having them there. That's their space.
Yeah.
So it's less about, I mean, of course, the loss and the feeling that loss comes and goes in waves, but it's okay that it's there.
Yeah. When you like look back at yourself 2 years ago in the middle of all of this, like just never ending hardship, what are the things that like saved you? Like obviously leaning into the grief and finding your way through, but like when you look back, what are like the pillars of light moments when you were like, that kept me going?
I think the only thing that I had a death grip on was the hope that what I believed was true.
Mm,
Um, because if it wasn't, I mean, just take me out right now, right?
yeah.
Because and I have friends who don't necessarily
Yeah.
believe that, and I do not know how they get through each day, because without that hope, and it literally is a death grip on it, like I feel like I'm grabbing the
Yeah.
wheel,
Yeah.
because I can't imagine not having that forward thought, because that is what gets me out of bed. That is what allows me to do anything,
Yeah.
um, and to keep going and to be there for my other children and my grandchild,
Yeah.
and that really, I mean, I have my family, but mainly that was, I mean, the hope is what probably saved
Yeah.
my sanity.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like if we have the perspective of like something else or being able to be reunited or a reason for all of it somewhere in the
Hmm.
messiness,
Right.
it at least, yeah, gives you a grip.
And not getting caught up in the what ifs
Ooh.
and the should haves. What's the saying? Don't should on
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
because that can be a rabbit hole that just so hard to get out of.
And I think you're, like you said, unfortunately unique because within a short span you experienced both approaches to loss, right? And you hear this debate all the time where people are like, I'd rather know I was going to die and be able to put my affairs in
Mm,
order. And that comes with a whole lot of mess.
sure.
Or, I wouldn't want to know and I would just want it to happen. And that comes with a whole lot of mess. And I don't think we need to compare, right? Because your relationships with your kids were different and the experiences in and of itself were different. But I think that's the really like when I look and like listen to you talk, that's the part that like stands out to me the most is like you weren't even handed two situations that were similar to where you could pull from, oh, this is how I healed some of this with this way. It was like, oh, here's now a whole new version. You know what I mean? Like I just think there's a reason for it all somewhere.
Somewhere,
Not
right?
necessarily in their loss or their timeline or
Right.
anything, but I think often we are able to create reason from events that occur,
Sure.
right? Or
Yeah.
grow or whatever somehow through them. And whether or not they were intended, you have done the best you know how to make the best out of the situations that you've walked, still are, right?
Yep. And there's some peace, I think, in knowing that, like the weekend of the accident, it was me and my two daughters and my grandson, and we were going up to Provo to a baby shower.
Mm.
And that weekend, the only reason my daughter and grandson were there, because they were living in Wyoming at the time, was my oldest son was Joshua wanted a meeting with the family,
Hmm.
because he was getting to a point in his life of knowing, that his life would be shorter.
Yeah.
He wanted to have a family council and talk about that year, because he felt like it was going to be
Okay.
his time that year.
Wow.
And then we left, and then so the accident actually put that conversation on hold.
Fair.
Um,
Hmm.
but Emily and Joshua were so close that sometimes I think, well, it's no surprise she
Yeah.
went before him and that she was there when it was
Mm.
time. And then I can only hope, and I think that for him, it maybe took the edge off of it a little bit, knowing his worry was that he wasn't going to be where she was. And so
Mm.
we did our best to reassure him that all would be fine and he would see her. And so we can, again, hope that that is the case.
Yeah. Doesn't make it easier.
Nope.
Feel completely unfair. But there are some beautiful, I guess, moments that you guys were all together, like shortly before, and we're able to at least talk about some of these things. And I truthfully don't know how you've done it. Like, admire your strength, because whether or not you chose to, or you just had to choose or lean into it, but like, I don't think a lot of people would handle it with the grace that you have. And I mean that. I think a lot of people get angry. I think that's the way they, and I'm not saying you haven't had moments,
Sure.
right?
Oh, yeah.
But
Definitely have had those moments.
I think we let it run the show because it's unfortunately, it's more culturally acceptable for someone to be angry than to be sad. And so I think that's what I see the most, like in my work stuff, right? Is like, I see people who are angry and I don't blame them.
Sure.
It's just,
and even with close friends, right? Just explaining things, like they get angry as well. But I'm like, wait, why are you getting angry? Hold on.
Angry for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I have a younger sister who lost her son at the age of 5. And so a few years prior. And so that's been also very helpful.
Yeah.
And she and I have been able to lean on each other and share the dark humor, because that's where I go.
That's okay.
Just to dark humor, disappointing affirmations, all the, what's the positive toxicity can go to hell. I walk into Hobby Lobby and I'm like, okay, where's your dark humor aisle? Because this is all too
way
much
too
for
positive.
me. I cannot handle all this positivity. I would just rather someone be like, well, that's it, Yeah. I would much rather live on the dark humor side of things. And
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
right.
Like, really, it's at the end of the day, like, what's pulling you through? It's the people that you found the connection in this with. And if those are moments that feel like a little bit of relief, great. Let's get more signs in Hobby Lobby.
Right? Yes, please. Yes, please.
Like,
well, here
more
you are.
reality.
Dang it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Be proud of how far you've come. Not too disappointed. Yeah.
I'll be a little disappointed. That's okay.
A little disappointed is okay.
I want you to remind me, because it's something that's kind of stuck with me, but like your butterfly viewpoints and things like that.
So butterfly, it's something that I shared with my daughters. For every performance, I had seen, it started with a single butterfly that I found, I could have been at a Hallmark shop. But it had a saying with it, and it just said, the butterfly is here then gone, its beauty quickly past. So keep each precious memory close and make each moment last. Just because the butterfly, right, does not live for very long. And appreciating its beauty for the very short period of time brings so much more gratitude for the butterfly. And so I've kind of turned that into, they did ballroom and performances, and then now I've turned it into theater. So any production I'm involved with, there's a butterfly for everyone in the cast, because productions come and go so quickly and performances come and go so quickly, that if you don't allow yourself just to be in the moment and appreciate the beauty that's right there, and not worry about what's going to happen tomorrow or what has happened, right? You're there, you're in the moment, and I think it just makes life more beautiful and makes you appreciate and and appreciate that you can be happy in the moment and not feel guilty about it and just enjoy what's right in front of you.
Yeah. Embrace it.
Hmm.
I love that.
And so my kids have become my butterflies. The tattoo
Yeah.
on my arm
I
is full of
love it. I
butterflies.
know. What a beautiful perspective, right? Like, and I remember you sharing this with us when we did 9 to 5, and I just remember thinking like, what a neat, obviously, because you see like a butterfly in passing, and you're like, oh, pretty,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't think about the like depth of it, right? And then to think of like, I mean, my experience with Emily was very brief. She just choreographed the show. We saw her
Yeah.
a handful of times, and that was my like interaction, right?
Yeah.
But I just remember like the joy and the happiness and like just she lived life,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
enjoyed it and gave her all to everything. And like from what I know, she lived more of a full life than people
Yeah.
who live to 100 in
Yeah.
some
Both
aspects,
her and
right?
Joshua.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I didn't get the
absolutely.
privilege to know him,
Mm-hmm.
but in the same way, like, and I think a lot of that is due to you and your husband and the home that you guys raised them in, and just the encouragement of things like this, like the belief of the butterflies, right? Like, don't take any of it for granted.
Yeah. And we learned early on, especially with our boys, they both have Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and it's a progressive disease. And so with that, comes stages of disability. They both walked, and so you do all that you can in those moments when they can,
Yeah.
and we had four-wheelers at one time, and Joshua enjoyed that, and then when he couldn't do it anymore, it's like, all right, well, we found something else, and so there was constantly just reevaluating, you know, what you can do and then taking full advantage of that. And I think that helped us gain that perspective, especially
Wow. Yeah.
instead of focusing so much on the future because we didn't know what our future was. So we had to
Right.
focus, we were
Force
forced
that
on
perspective. Yeah.
focusing on the present and
Wow.
maybe a little into the future, but again, not knowing where he would be, you really just took advantage of what was right in front of
Yeah.
you.
Ooh, what a beautiful lesson from something so hard that you guys turned that into it, right? Because lots of other people, I don't think would or could.
Yeah. But I think that's why both he and Emily, did the things they did. They just wanted more and did more, and he accomplished more in his life than
Oh,
anyone thought he
yes.
even would be able to
Oh, yeah.
with what he dealt with, and
And
you know,
equally like hard on him and the grief probably that the loss of everything and like your other son as well. Like I, that's all, like as you were talking, thinking that perspective of just like I'm seeing it from the mother's lens, right? Like because obviously I know you and that's the stage in life that I'm at, but like that would be hard to be able to do certain things and then live through your body not being able to do that anymore, you know?
yeah, and then them slowly losing the ability to do things. It just Josh would just be like, "Well, guess I'm not doing that again."
Oh,
Okay.
you've got more experience than I think a lot of people probably will ever have.
But what if I don't want it?
I know.
I mean, what's it was the Evan Almighty, right? Where he's talking to to God and he's like, "I know you do it because you love me." Then he's like, "Could you love me a little less? That would be great."
I know.
Yes.
Could I have a little less potential?
Love me less.
Yeah. You're just hard not to, I guess. Last question.
Mhm.
What's one thing you wish people knew before judging someone?
That they just shouldn't.
Fair. That simple.
It's that simple. You accept people for who they are. And the more you learn about them, the more you know, and the more you can love them. I think if we start with loving someone instead of judging someone, that's makes it easier.
Yeah.
Because we have preconceived notions of who our perfect people are and who we think people should be and how we think people should be. And if we just go into every relationship expecting them to not meet those expectations, then we're just gonna be disappointed in everybody that we meet. And Instead, if we just meet someone and in that moment just accept them, I just think there's too many other things in life that we have to worry about it for ourselves than to be worrying about judging other people.
Yeah.
Because where does it get us?
Nowhere.
Gets us nowhere.
Probably more unhappy.
Right. Right. Especially if we're setting up disappointments or allowing our own prejudices to immediately have an opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, and even if you do develop an opinion about someone and have judgments about them, like it's
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that can help you or hurt you, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the end, you can only control
Yeah.
you and your thoughts. And so I think if we're just, and Emily was a great example of that. She just, and anyone she met everyone with a smile.
Yes.
And, just seeing them as a person. And one of my favorite artists is, I don't know if you've heard of Skelly,
Mm-mm.
the skeleton. It's an artist, and all of his drawings, he uses real people and real positions and whatnot, but it's all skeletons. And he's
Love
like,
that.
if you think about it, we're
Yeah.
all exactly the same.
It's true.
We have the same skeletons.
Yeah.
And if we just think about it that way, it's just like we're all just human,
Yeah.
trying to exist and trying to get through life as happy as we can, I guess, and as painless as we can,
Yeah.
which happens for some.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I say leave the judgments up to those that are in position to do it. I don't have the
fair.
energy,
No, I get
right?
that.
It just, you definitely learn where your energy is best served and where it's not.
Yeah. I mean, like as you were talking, I was thinking like, imagine how much easier just life in general would be if we really just like looked for the good in someone
Mhm.
as opposed to like something to nitpick or to be
Yeah,
judgy about or unkind. Like if we were like, we looked at someone and we saw all their best qualities or, you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like we would want to be friends with everybody,
Hmm.
but like for some reason it's not that way. And maybe it's just because
Yeah.
this is the harder way and we learn.
But it's so much easier to, if you have that mindset of looking for something good about,
Yes.
and you don't necessarily have to compliment them, but like, oh, I love your shirt, or
Yes.
anything like that can uplift.
I mean, and there's always just as much good there as bad, but I think we've just kinda trained to look for, like, the judgmental places
The
instead of like,
judgmental and the
"They've got
comparison
cool
and the,
hair." Yeah.
yeah. The
Yeah.
sooner we can say, not my circus, not my monkeys, or is it the other way? Not my monkeys, not my circus,
Yes. It could be
I
either
don't
one,
have to
really.
worry about that. That's,
Yeah. It's true, and it's like the more we can just admit, like, "I don't know how to do this," or "I don't know how to handle this," or "I don't even know how to be there as a support for this. What do you need?" I think sometimes even that can be more beneficial than, "How are you? How are you doing?"
Mhm.
Right? Like,
Absolutely.
"Hey, I don't know how to be here, but I'm here,"
Yes, and sometimes just being there is it. Being
Yeah.
there, allowing them to just be.
Yeah.
That is it, and not forcing anything on them
Yeah.
and not asking questions, and because guaranteed that the mental space is not there for answering
Right.
anything.
Right. You've got enough question asking probably going
Mhm.
on for you all the time. So I just all things, especially early stages, right? And so,
Yeah,
yeah, why add to it?
yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I think that life continues to remind me is just how important connection is
Mm.
and just being with people and trying to understand what makes them tick and
Mhm.
what keeps them going and what encourages them. Like we can do a lot of good if we just know that about somebody. We don't have to. I don't have to have a lived experience similar to yours to be able to have compassion and love for it.
Right.
And in the same way that like I hope nobody. I wish you didn't. Like we wish we could take this from you too, that you didn't have to.
Right.
But you know, you're carrying it. And I think anyone who knows you is proud of you and how you're carrying it. hope you are too.
I'm just doing it.
I know. But there's a lot of beautiful aspects to it that the rest of us get to see. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having
sharing
me.
this. Thanks for being brave enough to share the hard, because I think that not everybody is.
Yeah.
Deal.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing a soda with us today. If this episode changed the way you see the world or one person, please share it with somebody else. And remember, stay curious, because every stranger is just a story you haven't heard yet.